This thumbnail is creepy as heck, guys. Don't you think? Yeah, it's real creepy. I'm reacting to this video. It's from a YouTuber called Jay Station. My Dutch channel, he's recording this. He made this on his 666. So make sure you go and subscribe to him. Follow him on Instagram and Twitter. And let's get into this.
There's a new phenomenon going on right now where thousands of people are going missing in our national parks each year. Most of these people disappear without a trace, but some people are found days later under the strangest circumstances. Many theories about these strange disappearances in our national parks have been thought of, some including aliens, others including secret military bases hidden underneath our national parks. But what exactly is making these strange disappearances so disturbing to thousands of people? Find out today on 666. What's up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about the mysterious disappearances that have been happening in national parks all over the world, known as the Missing 411. In 2017, more than 650,000 people have gone missing in that 1 year alone. But most national parks are hundreds of square miles big, so it's kind of expected that some people are going to go missing in the woods every once in a while. But it's the way that they go missing that's causing red flags saying something's up with the disappearances in these national parks. Just to give you an idea of how strange this is, in one case, a little boy's body was found laying on top of a fallen tree. But the weird thing about this was that the hundreds of people who were sent to search for this little boy had already searched that same area where they found his body days before, but all of a sudden, poof, he just appeared out of nowhere. On another case, a firefighter named Danny Flippidis went missing on a ski trip in a New York national forest and ended up 6 days later, more than 4,500 kilometers away in Sacramento, California. Clearly way too far away to walk there in just 6 days, but the weird thing about this is that he had no memory whatsoever about how he ended up in Sacramento, California. Out of all these missing person cases, most of them are clustered around bodies of water in national parks. If the people are found alive, they all experience memory loss. They have no idea what happened. And if the people are found dead, the cause of death is often unknown. But some of the strangest similarities in the cases are that most of the time the bodies are found in hard to reach areas like rocky mountaintops, or they seem to just randomly appear in places the search team have already searched. Bodies are often found either completely naked or with missing shoes, even if the bodies are found in areas that have snow. So today we're going to be going over some of the strangest cases of the Missing 411. Tom Messick disappeared November 15th, 2015 in Lake George Wild Forest, New York. His body was never found. Messick lived in Troy and was out that Sunday with a group of 6 friends and family members who were hunting near Lily Pond in an area of estate land that is part of the Lake George Wild Forest. The older members of the hunting group were watchers, in a static position sat on a log or a similar comfortable spot, and were in a vertical line, while the younger hunters used the path around the lake to drive the deers to the watchers as part of the drive. Tom was supposed to stay in one spot as members of the group walked through the woods to push deer towards him, but when they arrived at the location where he was supposed to be, he was gone, without a trace of him or his belongings. Okay, this is one of the biggest similarities between all of these missing people cases. Anytime that somebody ventures off on their own, they end up missing. It's not until they separate from their group before they disappear completely. It's almost like whatever makes them go missing doesn't want to be seen. He was
wearing duck boots, camouflage pants, and a coat, gloves, and a red and black checkered hat that he'd worn for decades. He also had a rifle with ammunition, snacks in case he got hungry, and a walkie-talkie. Tom served in the U.S. Army as a paratrooper with the 82nd Airborne Division. He was 5 foot 10 inches tall and weighed approximately 160 pounds. He was an experienced hunter and woodsman and taught hunter and survival training for many years.
This guy was all about the outdoors. Not only did he serve in the Army, but he taught survival classes and pretty much spent most of his life outdoors in the woods. On top of that, he had a rifle, walkie-talkie, everything he needed to survive, but he just vanished. If anybody was gonna get lost in the woods and come out a survivor, it would have been Tom.
His friends called forest rangers and they started searching at around 4:30 p.m. It got dark around 7 p.m. at that point. Half the group stayed and fired their rifles and honked the car horns to attract Tom to the area. The rest of the men left the scene and reported him missing to family and the authorities. On November 16th, the search started with 13 trained search and rescue professionals from the Park Service. It was well organized from the start and it had started quickly, following the time that Tom went missing. A huge search over the next several weeks involving more than 300 professionals and volunteers on some days, assisted by dogs, divers, and several helicopters, found no clues, including no sign of his rifle. More than 4 square miles were searched, with a larger area being searched by air with the aid of a helicopter from the State Police Aviation Unit. The weather was supposed to be bright and sunny for the next few days, but shortly after the disappearance of Tom, the weather all of a sudden got poor with heavy rain, but the sniffer dogs were deployed before the worst of the rain arrived.
Literally hundreds of people were looking for Tom as soon as he went missing, and nobody could find anything anywhere. They even had divers go through swamps, people walked through caves, nobody could find anything. And the weirdest part about this is nothing was ever found. Not even his rifle, his walkie-talkie, no shred of his clothes, nothing. He was just completely vanished into thin air. You would think that if he got attacked by a wild animal or something, some of his clothes would be ripped up on the ground somewhere. Maybe there would be blood on the leaves or something, but nobody found anything.
Searchers walked through the woods, no matter how thick they were, including swamps, and checked nearby roads, but there was absolutely nothing. Areas were tied off with string to box off specific areas to allow a detailed search of every grid zone. It was described as spider webs of strings in the forest. Given Tom Messick's old age of 82, searchers were baffled as he could not have got far from his original location, and some said it was weird that there were no sounds of wildlife.
That's another weird thing about these missing person cases. When the search and rescue team looks for the body, they notice that there's no birds, no animals, nothing. It's almost like there's something in the forest that's scaring away all the animals.
The investigation into Messick's disappearance is still classified as an active missing person case by authorities. Tom's wife Beverly was shocked about her husband's disappearance. He'd been in the woods since he was a boy, and if he got lost, he would have cut a piece of his jacket and tied it to a tree and done the other things he'd learned. One of the elderly hunting watchers who was right next to Tom's position said that he heard some strange noises coming from Tom's direction in the woods. He said he didn't know what the sound was, but it was a different noise than he's ever heard in the woods before. He described the noise as sounding like a loud snapping sound in the middle of the woods. He said it sounded like it was some sort of giant trap.
Tom's disappearance is an extremely strange case. Tom was very experienced in the outdoors, and there's no way that he could just go missing, especially when he has a rifle, food and water, a walkie-talkie to communicate with his friends. And not only that, but he knew that area super well. Thousands of people each year go missing exactly like Tom did. They get separated from a group, go missing out of nowhere, right when the search and rescue team comes. Bad weather forces the search and rescue team to stop looking. What exactly is going on in our national parks? There's some pretty strange theories about what's actually happening in the national park, and some of these are pretty crazy.
Go away, TikTok.
Literally hundreds of theories exist about what's happening in our national parks. Some theories are that wild animals are killing these people, but why isn't any shred of clothing ever found in a lot of these cases? You would think if an animal attacked you, you would have some sort of human remains left over on the forest ground somewhere, but a lot of these cases, nothing is ever found. On top of that, the cases where they do find a body, the cause of death is unknown. Oftentimes they're found without even a scratch on their body. I'm sure that there's some people that are actually getting lost in the woods and just never are found again. But what would explain the memory loss of the people that are found alive? They can't remember anything at all. A lot of times they're missing for up to a week, but the people think that they were only gone for a couple days. And what about the missing firefighter? He was found 4,500 kilometers away, all the way in California. There's no way he could have got lost in the woods and walked all the way to California in just 6 days. Something else is happening inside of these national parks, and a group of hunters who often go into the woods think there's an unknown creature living there who's making these people disappear. They started hearing strange noises in the middle of the woods every time they would go out there to hunt. Luckily, they had a cabin inside of the woods that they would barricade themselves in every time they would start hearing these strange noises. They actually sent the noises to a scientist to try to figure out what animal is making those sounds, but the scientist said it's an unknown species. The scientist told them, judging by the sounds that the animals are making, this creature has to be about 7 feet tall and about 300 pounds. The scariest thing about this is that sometimes it sounds like it's an animal, and other times it sounds like it's some sort of weird caveman creature, like it's actually speaking a language. Nobody really knows what this creature actually is, but just in case you guys can figure it out, here it is.
The creek at the big rocks.
In the recording, the hunters were mimicking the sound that the creature was making to try to entice it to come over so they could capture it on footage. No matter how close the creature sounded like it was to them, they could never capture the creature on camera. Other people in the forest have actually claimed to see what they describe as a creature with an invisibility cloak, kind of like the Predator from the movies. Whatever it is in the forest causing thousands of people to go missing every year is still a mystery, and I'd love to see what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button right now and go check out my main channel where I hunt actual paranormal activity. Link's gonna be in the description for that channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!
Meet Betsy, candidate for Orange County Commissioner. Meet Scott, big money developer and supporter of Betsy's campaign.
Alright, that does it for this video. That very last part was really creepy, guys. You have no idea. Don't say that this is fake, because not. See ya. Bye.